Welcome to Speakeasy Spirits. I know things look like kind of a mess right now. That's because I'm getting set up to shoot my next video. But I thought I'd turn the cameras on and give you guys a behind the scenes look at what it takes to set up, to shoot a video, make the cocktails, and generally run the channel. I'm also going to give you a full tour of the bar, show you all the features and the layout, including some spaces you guys have never seen before. We'll take you through the whole process, from setup all the way through editing and publishing a video. So welcome to the Speakeasy. This is a shot you guys probably haven't seen before, except a little bit in my opening clip. This is the door to the Speakeasy. You may have some questions about all of the greenery around me. I'll answer those a little later in the video. First, let's go on in. Usually the first step in any video shoot is cleaning up from the last video. So after I've done all the dishes at the end of the video, they sit out here to dry, and I'll do my cleanup right before the next one. So before I give you a tour of the bar, let's do some cleanup. The next thing I do is make sure I've got all my ingredients and tools for the next video. So for this next video, we're doing brunch cocktails. So I have got several kinds of juices. We're going to be doing a take on a Bloody Mary, so some Worcestershire sauce, some capers, and some hot sauce. On the back bar, I'm going to stage all the bottles I need for the next cocktail. One of the newest additions to the bar are these disc lights, so I can set up the bottles and get a little glow going beneath them. Once I've got my bottles set out, the next thing I'm going to do is check my fridge, make sure I've got enough ice and the syrups that I'm going to need for today's video. The ingredients for the next cocktail I'm making are on the back bar. But any other cocktails in the video, I'm staging all the ingredients over here on a side table. Also behind here, you can see I've got a mead fermenting. This is going to be an elderberry mead. It's for my other channel, The Fermentation Experiment. If you're interested in making beer, wine, cider, or mead, go ahead and check that out. I've got all the lighting and sound in the Speakeasy automated. The press of a couple of buttons, I can switch between a normal mode, a filming mode, and a bar mode. In bar mode, I've also got Bluetooth speakers wired up in here, so I can play some music. So I can go from this to this. So before I get started shooting the next video, let's do a quick tour of the bar. This is the angle you'll usually see in my videos, but in addition to this, we've got seating for 4 at the bar, a table, and another 2 chairs behind the bar. Usually I'll move that tripod out of the way if we're having people over. By the door, we've got another chair. My side table, right now that I'm using this to stage my ingredients, but normally we'd have some bar snacks on there. The sink, this is where I get all my water and do my cleanup. Above the sink, we've got storage for glasses. I try to keep as much of my glassware on racks as possible. I've got some of my tiki mugs up above, and there's more glassware on a side table. Now I'm kind of a cheapskate. I'm not going to go out and buy expensive glassware. A lot of this comes from thrift stores. On the back bar, in addition to the bottles I've staged for the video, I've also got a few special bottles. Here's a bottle you'll probably never see. This is my Chartreuse Centenaire. I had to go to France to get this one, and I will be covering that in an upcoming video. I've also got some odd souvenir bottles, like my Nuka Dark, or bottles that just won't fit in the cabinet, or my 20th anniversary celebration distillation Old New Orleans rum. This stuff won awards for being the best spirit of the year. It's got some rum in there that survived Hurricane Katrina. Unfortunately, Celebration had a fire and they have never reopened. Now the liquor cabinet stays pretty full, as you can see. I keep collecting spirits faster than I can use them. And up here on the top shelf, I've got some very special things. This is a bottle of Jack Daniels from the 1960s. This is a bottle of Lagavulin 16, but the bottle itself was bottled probably in the 1990s. And I haven't been able to age date these, but some of them probably date back to the 50s or early 60s. Every bar tool I have has a dedicated place for it. I've hung up a lot of the tools here on the sidewall, and a lot of the other tools live in this back corner in my little rack. I've also got storage for straws, tiny umbrellas, and what should be garnishes, but right now is mostly just storage for random photography equipment and tools that I need. And this is the view from behind the bar. I've got my studio lights, and above that, a monitor where I can watch what's going on, check everything's in frame, and position the bottles around the bar as needed. This is my primary camera. It's a Sony ZV-E10, which I have heavily customized for video shooting. I've got a backup battery here, HDMI hooked up to a monitor above the bar, a second monitor up here so I can position the shots, and a barn door lens cover with a couple of filters to get the right look. I'm using a Sigma 16 f1.4 lens. It's got great low light performance, really good for shooting in here without needing a whole lot of studio lighting. For now, my secondary camera is my phone. It's a OnePlus 9. It's got pretty good camera quality, but I would like to move to another DSLR. I've double and triple checked the lights, the sound, the camera. Now it's time to get dressed. I usually keep a couple of shirts down here, depending on what kind of cocktails I'm making. If it's casual, I'll stay in the t-shirt. If it's something nicer, I'll put on a button-up. And last, the apron. I'll check everything once again, make sure everything's in frame, and it's time to start shooting. One of the most popular brunch cocktails is going to be the mimosa or the Bellini. What's the difference? Nothing really. What's in here is just the main part of the bar. I told you guys I'd show you some areas you haven't seen before, so let's step outside the door and see the rest of it. Welcome to the Hedge Maze. A speakeasy shouldn't be easy to get into, so we've created a maze before you can get into the speakeasy. So let's walk out and see the front room. If you haven't been able to tell, my wife and I are huge fans of Alice in Wonderland, so we've built this hedge maze in our basement, lit it with black light. We've got seating for another 8 or 9 people out here. This is going to be a constant work in progress. The ceilings aren't finished yet, but we're slowly getting there. So why don't we head upstairs and see where I edit videos. And this is where I store extra glasses, some of my tiki mug collection, and all of the spare bottles waiting to be used. And this is where the real work happens. Here's where I do all of my editing. I've got this extra large 49-inch monitor specifically for editing, so I can have an extended timeline stretching all the way across. Behind it is a water-cooled Windows PC that I built specifically for editing purposes. And I use a DaVinci speed editor so I can quickly navigate through the videos and have shortcuts to all of my editing tools. The editing process itself can take up to 6 hours for just an 8 to 10 minute long video. That includes the time editing it, uploading it, writing descriptions, and posting to social media sites. On top of that, there's also the business and administrative side of things, like designing products and maintaining the Speakeasy Spirits store, doing the research on classic cocktails and their history, maintaining the Amazon affiliate links, not to mention taxes and the general business upkeep. Today's video was something a little different, and in the future I may have some more videos that stray a little bit from the standard cocktail recipe videos. I've recently visited bars and distilleries in New Orleans and Boston, and in the coming weeks I'll be in Charleston, North Carolina and Savannah, Georgia. I'd like to put together some review videos of bars and distilleries I've visited and let you know what's worth your time. I also plan on having some friends come visit me here in the Speakeasy. We'll be doing some taste tests and talking about cocktails. I hope you liked the video. If you did, you'd be doing me a big favor by liking and subscribing. We'll see you next time.